surgical wounds. So, basically a lot of, surgically created defects or, trauma or something like that. So, TMAs, partial amputations, whatever, where, maybe, you can't get primary closure, or maybe you're trying to save or salvage as much tissue as you can. So you don't want to, cut back more bone than you have to get closure. So maybe, use the powder to try to granulate over some of that exposed bone. Or, you've got a trauma case where you've just got volumetric tissue loss, and, you don't just want to, graft over it and have a huge divot, or, things like that. Or you've got a pilonidal cyst, or, stuff like that.
What do you use now if you have, like, say, exposed bone? You did debridement all the way down the bone. What do you...
Either I use Integra or DuraPure.
Okay. So is this like an accurate statement? Because I've been out of the loop for a while. So one of the things I used to see is, like, the grafts would dry out often. It was hard to keep them moist. So I like to talk about how the powder is quick to incorporate and then fill in that with granulation, a nice granulation bed, and you don't have to worry about the graft moving around or drying out, which is just another added benefit, I think. So is that...
No, that's an accurate statement, but I'm going to be devil's advocate. People like to use wound vac. So, it should be the type of thing where you need to tell them, at least in my mind, and then put a wound vac on top of it.
Well, you could use the powder. We used to use A-cell powder a lot with the wound vac, so you could use the powder.
Oh, really?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, even when it breaks down and creates a gel, that gel typically doesn't get pulled up through all those foam dressings and things like that. It it more pulls the exudate out, than it does the material.
Oh, okay.
But that's the other advantage of the powder as well, compared to like a sheet. With a sheet, trying to get it to break down, in the wound vac, is any of that staying in contact with the tissue long enough, to actually do any good? You put the powder on there, and because it conforms so easily to the irregular wound, it's not like putting even those thin, freeze-dried sheets or whatnot, trying to push it down so it's in good tissue contact, is hard to begin with, and then when you cover it with the dressing, you don't know what's going on underneath there. So